Good morning, everyone. I welcome you all to another episode of the new member orientation series. And in this episode, we are going to discuss about the club officer roles. So, as you know that in every Toastmasters club, we have an excom, an executive committee. So, in this executive committee, we have around 7 to 8 club officer roles. Okay, so today we are going to discuss about each club officer role, like what we are going to do, how these club officer roles will be contributing towards your Toastmaster journey, how they will be contributing towards your public speaking and leadership opportunities, and all those other things, all those related things. So, without further ado, let us begin this episode. So the first thing is that who are club officers or what are club officers? So the club officers are basically the elected leaders who keep the club running. So whenever a club is being formed, certain people will be elected and they will be serving the club. So what they need to do is they will be managing. So their primary job is to ensure that the club operations are conducted, they are managed properly, they are supporting the members of the club in order to achieve their goals, be it in terms of public speaking or be it in terms of the leadership skills, and ensure a high quality meeting experience. Okay, this is all about the club officers. This is the basic definition of the club officers. So, who are the club officers? Now, the club officers are basically 7 roles. Okay. Now, there is one more role apart from this list. Okay. So, first of all, we'll see these 7 roles. So, the first thing is that the first person of the club, the person who will be headlining the club, will be the president. So, the president is the one who will be setting the vision. He'll be leading the meetings and he or she will be overseeing all the operations. Okay. So, that is about the president. The second person is the VP education. So the VP education or the VPE in short form, they are expected to plan the meetings, schedule the roles, and track the pathways progress for all the members. Okay, that is about the VP education. The third person is the VPM, that is the VP membership. So the VP membership is the one who will be welcoming the guests, they'll be recruiting new members, and they'll be handling the onboarding. That is, once the member joins in, then he or she will be responsible to guide them on how they can register in the Toastmasters International Toastmasters fraternity. That is about VP membership. Then we have the VP Public Relations. So the VP Public Relations is the one who will be promoting the club. Okay, he or she will be the one to promote the club. They'll be using the social media, other channels of communication in order to promote the club. They'll be the ones to release the flyers of the meetings, the newsletters, and any other form of communication. Okay, so that is the job of VP Public Relations. Then we have the secretary. So the secretary is the one who will be taking the minutes of the meeting, like what all incidents happened in the meeting. Then they are the ones who will be doing the yeah, they are the ones who will be actually taking the minutes for the XCOM meetings as well. They'll be the ones to maintain the records. Okay, it could be about the membership forms or any other forms. Okay, related to that. So that will be under the job of secretary, and they'll be the ones to handle correspondences. So the correspondence could be from the district to the club, or it could be from the Toastmaster International. So they'll be the ones to handle that. So they'll be the ones receiving this information. And also, in case if they need to update any information, maybe any information in the Toastmasters International website related to the club, that is done through the secretary. Then we have the treasurer. Treasurer is the one who will be managing the finances of the club. So there will be a club will be having a budget, a yearly budget, and the treasurer has to ensure that whether the expenses are meeting the planned budget. Okay, in case if they are exceeding or if they are saving if they are saving, those things will be handled by the treasurer. So they have to take care of the dues, they have to take care of the bills, they have to take care of the budget, etc. So all these things will come under the treasurer. Then we have the sergeant at arms. So sergeant at arms is the one who will be setting up the role. Now sergeant at arms sounds like as if it is an officer from the army, but in the Toastmasters, sergeant at arms is the one who will be setting up all the prerequisites for the meeting. Like it could be about the meeting room, it could be about managing the equipments, welcoming attendees, and so on. Okay, so this is about the sergeant at arms. So each and every officer plays a vital role in club success. So it's not only the one person who will be managing everything, it's actually the partnership and the teamwork of all the club officers, and not only club officers but also the members of the club who are not part of the excom. They are also contributing to the success of the club. And apart from these seven roles, there is also one more role which is called as the immediate past president. Okay, so the president of the excom, once their term is over, they will be coming, they'll be what do we say, they'll be taking the position of the immediate past president. So what their role is, they'll be actually guiding the that they'll be actually guiding the new excom on how they can on how they can work on to achieve their goals. So that is the job and responsibility of the immediate past president. So these are the club officers for any Toastmasters club. Now, what are the key responsibilities of the club officers? So, the first responsibility is to attend executive meetings. That is, every month, or let's say maybe once in 2 months, they will be having club officer meetings. That is, club excom meetings. Okay, so the club excom then decide which all days they need to meet. Okay, it could be either online or offline, and they can actually discuss on how can they progress further, be it in terms of the club meetings, be it in terms of the PR work, be it in terms of any other activities, and all. So all these things can be discussed in the executive meetings. That is number one. Number two is you need to fulfill your duties as a club officer. So in the previous slide, we have discussed about what each officer has to do while serving that particular role. So whatever duties are being mentioned, that needs to be fulfilled by the club officer roles. Okay, that needs to be fulfilled by the respective club officers. Then these club officers, they need to support the club. That is, in case if any events are coming, like for example area contest or area contests and all other, then the clubs have to support the area in order to uh, not only in terms of the finances but also in terms of the member engagement, the member participation, or any other aspect. Okay, and also in terms of the club growth. So all these club officers, primarily it's a duty of club officers, that they need to ensure that the club grows both in membership and also in terms of quality. And then lastly but not the least, the officers have to communicate with each other. Okay, so so the president, whenever they ask, they have to communicate with them. They need to ensure that the answers are there and all those things. Okay, so these are the main responsibilities of the club officers. So it's all about teamwork. So if a club has to thrive, then it's all about the teamwork between the club officers. Now, what are the benefits of serving as an officer? So, the benefits of serving as an officer is, first thing is that you will gain leadership experience. So, you will be building the real world leadership and management skills. That is number one. Number two is that you will be you'll be establishing your networking. You'll be creating a network. So, you'll be connecting with other officers and other district leaders. You'll be connecting with excom from other clubs and all. So in case if they have a shortage of club roles, means meeting role players, then we can actually help them by assigning our role players to their clubs. Okay, so that is about networking. Then we have personal growth. That is, as an officer, once you take up the role of an officer, your growth, that is, be it in terms of leadership or be it in terms of communication, all those things will be increased, like it will be improved. So you'll be gaining confidence, you'll be gaining the organization and communication skills. Then you are basically giving back to the community of Toastmasters. That is, you are not only helping of course you are gaining something, and you are actually giving back your skills to the club in order to help the club grow and also to support the fellow members. So basically, our main focus is to improve the performance of our members, which will indirectly contribute to the success of the club. So that is about benefits of serving as an officer. So serving as an officer is basically leadership in action. So is there any relationship between officer roles and pathways? Well, there is no direct relationship between officer roles and pathways, because serving as an officer role doesn't mean that you are contributing to the pathways, but the skills which you gain as an officer, you can use that in order to complete your projects, especially in the levels 4 and 5, where you will be having advanced projects like the high performance leadership projects or any other advanced public speaking projects and all. So you can use those skills to complete those particular projects. So how a club officer role is actually helpful in order to complete the projects in pathways, or not only in pathways, in their leadership journey or other in their career. I will tell again how a particular club officer role, like when they're performing that particular role, how what all skills they are gaining. So that is the intention of this slide. So in case if you are becoming a president, you are leading a team, you are having a strategy, you'll be gaining skills in strategic planning, and you'll be gaining skills in managing the operations. When it comes to VP education, you are improving your program planning, scheduling, tracking member progress, and other related skills. When you are becoming VP membership, you are improving your member recruitment, onboarding, and guest relationships. Then when you are VPPR, you are learning how to do this marketing, social media skills, public relations, and communication skills. When you are becoming the secretary, you will learn various aspects of secretariat roles like record keeping, organizational management, correspondence recording, etc. Then when you are becoming the treasurer, you will be gaining the skills for the financial management, budgeting, reporting, etc. And when you are when you are gaining when you are when you are the surgeon at arms, you will be involved in the logistics coordination, event setup, and hospitality. So all these skills are being practiced when you are taking up the particular role. So use your club officer experience to complete pathways project, but remember, even if you want to achieve that particular level, or even if you want to complete that particular path, you got to complete the project deliverables in the base camp. If you complete all the projects regardless of whether you're a club officer or not, that still applies to you. Okay, so it doesn't have any direct connection with the club officer role. You are supposed to complete all the projects, but whatever skills you are gaining in the club officer by serving as a club officer, you can apply them in order to complete your projects. So that is the advantage of having a club officer role. So to summarize the video, so we discussed about the 7 roles, okay, in the club executive committee. So the first role is the president. So the president's role is to have a vision, to lead the club, and also to oversight all other activities. That is number 1. Number 2 is VP education. So VP education is the one who will be who will be planning the meeting, and they are the ones who will be tracking the pathways progress of the members. The third person is the VP membership. So the VPM will be the one to recruit new members. They are the one to do the onboarding process. That is VPM. Then the fourth person is the VPPR. So the VPPR is basically the public relations person. So they are the ones to do the marketing and social media skills, social media arrangement. Then we have the secretary. So the secretary is the one to record the minutes, to maintain the minutes for the EXCOM meetings, to maintain the correspondence between the district and the club, and so on. Then we have the treasurer. Treasurer is the one to manage the finances, dues, and budget. And we have the surgeon at arms who will be setting up the meeting, then arranging the equipment, welcoming the guests, and all the other things. So these people are the most vital people or vital members of the any club. So with this, I will conclude with this one fact, that is, in case if you are interested in becoming a club officer, now as a new member, once I tell you all this, you will have an inspiration that yes, next time I want to be a club officer. Then what you can do is you can approach the VP education or the president in order to ask how to run for a club officer role, or how can I be assigned a club officer role. So the VP education will actually keep your name for the next year, and then you will be assigned to that particular role. So this is so one thing you need to understand is that once you become a club officer, it's a great way to grow, both in terms of the public speaking and in terms of the leadership opportunities. So with this, I conclude my video on the club officer roles. Thank you for listening, and in case if you have any queries, comments, or clarifications regarding this particular topic, please do post them in the comment section, and I'll be happily obliged to respond to them. Thank you once again, and see you in the next episode.